Ever feel like things are running smoothly on the surface, but deep down, you know something's missing? Your team hits the numbers, tickets closed, systems are patched, but you're not hearing any applause. In fact, your internal customers are starting to wonder when things will actually improve. Sound familiar? That feeling of "we're fine" can be a dangerous trap for IT leaders. We get comfortable with what we see in the metrics, while bigger opportunities for improvement are slipping through the cracks. But here's the good news: you don't have to stay stuck. Today, we'll talk about how to break out of that cycle and develop a roadmap that keeps your team improving without burning out. Grab a cup of coffee and let's chat about why creating a rolling 18-month roadmap is the key to continuous improvement in IT. I'm Tina Marie Baugh. I have over 25 years of hands-on experience in technology leadership. I aim to provide practical insights so seasoned tech experts turned managers can bridge the gap between their technical prowess and leadership excellence. As IT leaders, the pressures to maintain operations while managing expectations from all sides is immense. I've seen too many leaders, myself included, fall into the trap of thinking everything is running smoothly, so we must be doing great. But here's the thing: fine doesn't cut it in today's landscape. Being fine without monitoring, measuring, or improving means we aren't progressing. And when we stop progressing, we aren't just staying still, we're falling behind. Your 24-hour resolution on those tickets? Your monthly patching cadence? Hmm, they may feel like wins, but when was the last time you checked how those processes impact your internal customers? How long has it been since you sat down with your team to dig into process gaps or inefficiencies? Often, we don't even realize the pain points that are creeping in. Here's where a process framework like the CMMI, Capability Maturity Model Integration, can save us from this rut. CMMI is a structured way to evaluate your IT processes and continuously improve them. It's not just about fixing what's broken, but about building a rolling roadmap for the next 18 months. This roadmap helps you schedule small, manageable improvements so you're not overwhelming the team and you're consistently adding value to your organization. Think of it like this: instead of waiting for things to break, we proactively schedule improvements. You measure where you are today, identify where you want to be, and lay out small, actionable steps to get there. For instance, maybe your incident response process is solid, but your change management process feels clunky. You might map out improvements over the next few months to streamline approvals or automate some of the steps. By doing this incrementally, you give your team the breathing room to plan these changes. You avoid burnout while making sure that every part of your IT ecosystem is consistently improving without the panic that comes from being reactive all the time. Let me share a real life example from my own experience. We were introducing a central service desk concept at an organization. where all tickets and calls were changing from 8 distributed systems to a single central system. Now, a change like this can be overwhelming, both for the IT teams and the internal customers who rely on us. So we laid out a clear roadmap that spanned 18 months. The first 30 days were internal to IT. We moved our workflow centrally, tested it out, and adjusted based on our team's feedback. The next 30 days were spent communicating the change to our internal customers, letting them know what was coming, how it would impact them, and giving them a chance to provide feedback. Then, for the next 90 days, we reported weekly on key metrics and progress, making adjustments based on what we were learning. The roadmap didn't end there. We layered in improvements like password self-service and automation, all made possible by our move to a central ticketing system. The key to our success? Communicating, measuring, and consistently tweaking the processes based on feedback from both our internal teams and our customers. The ability for everyone to see the roadmap gave them confidence that we were taking their feedback and making consistent improvements. As we dive into the importance of building a roadmap, let's take a moment to look at what CMMI really is. CMMI, or Capability Maturity Model Integration, is a process improvement framework designed to help organizations understand their current level of process maturity and make consistent, measurable improvements over time. CMMI has 5 maturity levels. Let's start from the bottom. Level 1 is initial. This is where your processes are unpredictable and reactive. Things might get done, but it's usually chaotic and unstructured. Level 2 is repeatable. Here, processes are more stable, and you can start repeating successful outcomes, but it's typically on a project-by-project basis, so they're not fully standardized across the organization. Level 3 is defined. Now we're getting more structured. At this level, your processes are proactive, standardized, and tailored to your organization's needs. At level 4 is the quantitatively managed. Here, you're not just managing processes, you're measuring them and controlling them. Data drives decisions, making your operations more reliable and efficient. And finally, level 5 is optimizing. This is where you're continuously improving. Your organization is focused on innovation and process optimization, constantly evolving. So, what does all this mean for IT leaders? CMMI provides a clear roadmap for growth. It's a structured way to assess where you are today and plan for where you want to be without overwhelming your team. You can systematically measure your progress and improve step by step. Now that you understand what CMMI is, let's talk about how to get started without turning it into a huge, expensive project. The beauty of CMMI is that you don't need to hire consultants or spend months on assessments to get a sense of where you are. In fact, you can take a simple, fast approach that provides a solid foundation for improvement. Here's how you can quickly measure where your processes stand on the CMMI scale. First, start with self-reflection. As a leader, take a moment to list and then reflect on your processes. Ask yourself, how consistent are we in executing each process across the team? And do we rely on specific individuals to get things done, or are our processes defined, documented, and repeatable? This quick self-assessment helps you start recognizing whether you're closer to level 1 or level 3. Second, talk to your team. Get feedback from your team on key process areas like incident management, change control, or release management. Ask simple questions like, do we have a standard way of doing this? Or how do we handle this process when someone is out of the office? These conversations will give you insights, whether your processes are ad hoc, level 1, or more structured and repeatable, level 2 or 3. Third, look at metrics. Review any metrics or reports you already have. Are you consistently hitting your goals? Or are you scrambling to meet deadlines? Are you tracking process performance, or is it more reactive? If your processes are measured and controlled, you might be operating around level 4. If they're more informal, you're likely closer to level 2 or 3. As an example, if we're reviewing the incident management process, a simple checklist might be, do we have defined processes? If the answer is yes, we are a level 3. If no, we're a level 1. Are our processes repeatable across teams? If the answer is yes, we're level 2 or 3. If no, we're probably a level 1. Do we measure performance? If the answer is yes, we might be at level 4 or 5. If no, we're probably at a 3 or below. Are we continuously improving these processes? If the answer is a yes, we might be a level 5. You don't need a full-blown assessment. Just go through these questions to get a rough idea of where you are. This doesn't have to be a lengthy exercise. You can measure where you stand in just a few conversations with your team and a quick review of your current metrics. The goal is to get a general sense of your maturity level so you can start planning improvements that make sense for your organization. Once you've taken that quick assessment and have a sense of where your processes fall on the CMMI scale, it's time to set some goals and build your roadmap. The great thing about knowing your current level is that it gives you a clear starting point. Now, it's all about figuring out where you want to go and mapping out how to get there without overwhelming your team. Here's how to set goals and develop your roadmap. First, define where you want to be. Start by identifying what maturity level you want to achieve over the next 18 months. For example, if you're currently at level 2, repeatable, your goal might be to reach level 3, defined, where your processes are fully standardized across the organization. Or if you're at level 3, you might aim to introduce more metrics and performance tracking to move toward level 4, quantitatively managed. Second, break it down into small, achievable steps. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the idea of leveling up every process all at once. So start small. Focus on 1 or 2 key areas like incident management or change control, and outline specific improvements. For example, if you're aiming for level 3 for one of these areas, you could standardize the documentation process for incident responses, or ensure your change management steps are clearly defined and followed by all teams. Third, create a rolling 18-month roadmap. A rolling roadmap allows you to focus on incremental improvements over time. Break down your goals into quarterly milestones. This way, you can ensure the improvements are manageable and don't disrupt day-to-day operations. For example, quarter one, identify key bottlenecks in your incident management process and document the steps needed to standardize them. Begin tracking metrics like resolution time, backlog size, and customer satisfaction. Quarter two, establish a feedback loop by holding monthly team review sessions where you assess these metrics. Use the feedback to make small, immediate adjustments to improve efficiency. Quarter three, implement automation in your ticketing system for recurring tasks, such as automated notifications or escalations. Introduce dashboards to visually monitor real-time performance and help the team quickly identify trends or issues. These goals directly support the transition from level 2 to level 3 by improving from inconsistent project by project processes to fully defined, standardized, and documented processes that are consistently followed across the organization. Fourth, align your team. Make sure everyone understands the roadmap and their role in achieving the goals. This alignment helps prevent you from becoming overwhelmed and fosters a culture of continuous improvement. Schedule regular check-ins with your team to review progress. Adjust the timelines if needed and celebrate wins along the way. Fifth, monitor progress. As you move forward, keep an eye on the data. Are the metrics improving? Are processes becoming more efficient? Regularly measuring progress ensures you're on track and allows you to make adjustments if certain goals aren't being met. By setting clear, achievable goals and spreading the work out over time, your team will feel empowered to make progress without getting buried by too much change at once. The rolling roadmap keeps everyone focused on continuous improvement. And before you know it, you'll see the benefits throughout your IT operations. And there you have it. Understanding your current process maturity, setting goals, and developing a roadmap to guide continuous improvement. By leveraging CMMI, you can avoid getting stuck in the "we're fine" trap and instead focus on building a culture of progress, one step at a time. Remember, it's not about doing everything all at once. It's about taking small, strategic actions that lead to big improvements over time. As we continue to navigate the vast and dynamic landscape of technology leadership, I invite you to dive deeper by checking out my other videos. Each one is designed to offer you actionable insights and strategies to enhance your leadership skills in the tech industries. Until next time, innovate, inspire, learn, and lead. You got this.